Hello, yes, hi, rock and roll. Welcome back. Welcome back to Jay's Rock and Roll Stories. I'm your host, Jay. Man, we were all over the place. We were playing in the mud at Altamont. We were shooting up heroin with Sid Vicious, and fucking around. Let's recenter ourselves, right? Let's take it easy. Let's just sit around. Let's do a kumbaya. Let's be cool. We're gonna talk about Carlos Santana. I would say an amazing musician, an amazing guitar player, and a great human being. I would say. I think Carlos Santana is a really cool dude. I really dig the way he kind of he's just kind of really in tune. And I want to tell you a story about him. I want to tell you his story. And I'm working with two books. And the first book I found is called Soul Sacrifice: The Santana Story by this guy named Simon Lang. And he's an English guy, and he had like a Santana fan magazine over in England. So I'm using his book as sort of the skeleton foundation of the story of Santana. But at the same time, I'm also reading this book that Santana wrote himself, his autobiography called The Universal Tone. And I want to, before we get even started here, I want to talk about his concept, this universal tone he talks about. It's cool, man. He talks about how, let's say you're really good at chess, or let's say you're really good at gymnastics. Let's say you're really good at juggling. Let's say you're really good at playing fucking guitar, right? Let's say you're really good at whatever it is you have your heart in, you do. You're not doing it for money or fame or power. You're doing it because you do it. You do it, And that's what he calls the universal tone. Like, everyone has this. Everyone has something that they're really. It could be anything. It could be just sitting in the garden and tending your garden and communicating with your plants and stuff, or it could be doing backflips or something. But you're doing it because you can do it, and it feels great and it's beautiful. And he's saying that we're all connected, that there's like this connection that we have, that we all have, we share this same love. I dig it, man. That's freaking cool. I love it. So that's how we're going to recenter ourselves. We're going to bring it all back in, okay? We're going to bring it all back in. All right, Carlos Santana. I'm from San Diego, and he's Southern California or California, like everyone knows who Carlos Santana is. And I think we all, sorry, not we all, but I think there was this idea that he's from Tijuana. Yes, he lived in Tijuana throughout his life, but no, he was born in July 20th, 1947 in a little tiny country town called Autlán, which is like way out in the country. He is the middle of 7 kids, and his mother is named Josefina, and his father is Jose, and they live out in the country. We're talking like candlelight. We're talking like outhouse, So he grows up in a family, 7 kids. It's Antonio, Tony, that's what we call him. That's the big brother. Laura, Irma, Carlos is in the middle. Leticia, Jorge, Maria. So he's right in the middle. His father is like with both parents. His father is more like what they would call Indio. Like he's darker skin. Like he has more indigenous blood. And his mother's more light skinned. She has more like the European blood, like from Spain. And Carlos, he kind of is like pale too, kind of like his mom. His father Jose is a musician, plays violin, and he plays at weddings. He plays at quinceañeras. He plays at birthday parties and stuff. And a lot of his gigs, he puts together like a band to get out of Autlán to go to other places and play. He would say goodbye to the family, get on the bus with his band, and he'd be gone for months. And doing that job wasn't like you can't just call a place. Hey, can you book us? You go to the town. You go to a place. Hey, do you need a band? They might say, no, we're cool. We got our band. Or they might say, yeah, hell yeah, we need band tonight. So it was kind of like that. So they would travel to a city. It might be dry. Fuck, no one needs us. So let's go to another city. So he's traveling all over the place. So, but he makes money though, and he's very popular. He's a very like charismatic guy. He's cool. Like everyone loves him. Everyone calls him Don Jose. When he comes back, everyone's like, "Oh, Don Jose, hey man, good to see you." So this episode, I'm just giving you like a foundation of what was Carlos Santana's life like when he was a kid. And so he would leave and try to find gigs with the band and leave mom at home. Mom is Josefina with the kids. And he would be gone for weeks or even months, and then when he would come back, mom would be pregnant again. It was kind of like, go, come back. So they had 7 kids, but they also she lost a lot of kids too. There was a few times when she had a miscarriage or something. So it was intense that the life that they lived like way out in the countryside with a father who just, all right guys, see you later. I'm gonna go and come back. And so it's not easy, it's country life, but it's like a happy childhood. Carlos is like a sensitive kid compared to the other kids, and there was a time the reason why I'm reading these 2 books is like I'm reading this one book. The Simon Lang book gives me just like a timeline, right? But the Santana book, the Universal Tone book, like really dives into some deep stuff. And sometimes the problem with autobiographies about musicians is they might release like a very softball book, like a softball pitch where it's just like, like they're hiding things that they want to say. Everything was fine. No problem here. Or on the other side could be like just letting it all out. And this is a good book. I recommend this, The Universal Tone. So there's this time when Carlos Santana and his mother, like they have a very different relationship than the other kids. And there's this time when Carlos Santana, he's talking about when he was outside and just like in the garden, and he heard his mom talking to the neighbor, and he heard like he's kind of spying on them, right? And he hears her say, "Yeah, él es diferente," like he is different, like talking. Carlos is different, and then she sees them spying on them, talking. Carlos, come here, ven aquí. Comes over, sits him down, and he's thinking like, "Oh, we're gonna have a nice little time," and she slaps him in the face, like slaps. And he just holds his face and looks at her like, what the hell? And then the mom looks at the neighbor and says, see? He didn't do anything. And Carlos Santana, in the book, he's saying like that was when I that was when I really had a hard time with my mom because like, what am I, your guinea pig or something? Because like she said it to the neighbor, like, see, he didn't do anything. The other kids would fight back, but this one is different. He didn't do it. He didn't fight back. So it's an interesting childhood that he grows up with, and there's a funny story where his father, Don Jose, is there's this funny story because Don Jose, or his father Jose and Josefina, they were always fighting because he was always leaving, and he slept around. He's a good-looking, popular guy. He had a lot of girlfriends on the side. Josefina is a badass, dude. Badass. So she's like, she will hunt your ass down if she hears that you are fucking Don Jose, her husband Jose. She will beat the shit out of you. And there, oh my God, in the book, The Universal Tone, there's this story where it's like she wants to do this quick. Let's wrap it up. Okay, Carlos, are you ready? What do you mean you're ready? Okay, put your shoes on. All right, let's go. So it's like the middle of the afternoon. And Josefina is dressed up. She looks all nice. And got Carlos, like, he's... Everything I'm telling you right now is like from like age like 6 to like 10. It's like little. Anyway, grabs his hand. All right, let's go for a walk. Okay, they're like going through the part of town or whatever. She knocks on the door of this house. This woman comes out and she's like, don't you ever fucking talk to my husband, Carlos, and like knocks the shit out of this woman. Okay, Carlos, let's go home. Oh man, she will not, if she finds out you're fucking Jose, you're done. Anyway, so it's an interesting childhood that Carlos went through. There was this another time where, all the kids were asleep and they're in the house, and all of a sudden they like, this is like 2 a.m, and Jose, whenever he's like, Josefina would get pissed off that, of course you'd get pissed off, but you're cheating on me, blah, blah, blah. And then he'd leave, and then he'd come back and serenade her through the window and win her back. But there's this one time where, they heard like a commotion and music through like outside. They look through the window. There's like a little parade. There's like guys with like tubas and trumpets. There's Don Jose holding his violin, but like Don Jose is leading the parade. He has his violin, in one hand, and his bow, like holding it up top, and there's a piece of underwear on top, like a flag, and and the mayor of the town loved Don Jose. He thought he was like, this guy is awesome. And the mayor is with them on this little parade, and he's laughing. He's like, God, these guys are so fucking crazy. And there's like a priest from the church who's walking with them, but like shooting or like spraying like holy water. Like, no, please don't do this. And then they're looking out the window like, what the fuck is happening? And they finally come to the house, and the parade backs up, but Don Jose comes and plays a violin through the window, towards the window, and Josefina hears the music, and everything's all good. So it's an interesting childhood that Carlos has. Eventually, Don Jose convinces Carlos to play violin. And he's teaching him how to play, and he's teaching him classical music, mariachi music, folklore music, like very, very traditional stuff. And Carlos digs it, but he does it too fast. And Don Jose is like, slow down, stop, no, slow it down. So I'm going to wrap this up, and this is just our introductory episode for Carlos Santana. So what happens is the change in their life, because they're from the country, right? Finally Don Jose gets with his band, and he gets a job in Tijuana. And they're up in Tijuana. He'll send a letter or something, send some money. But after a while, Josefina's like, fuck this shit. You know what? Let's go find the guy. So they convince a family friend to get in his car and drive him up to Tijuana from Autlán. I just Googled this. How long does it take to drive from Autlán to Tijuana? It takes 29 fucking hours. That's a long fucking drive. And it's like they drove in one of those old sedans, because this is the early 50s. One of those big fat sedans. There's no AC. This is going to be hot as shit. This is like in the summertime. They finally get there. They're asking around. They get to this place where Josefina thinks he is, and knocks on the door. Who's opened the door? Well, in Carlos' book, he said that it was a prostitute opened the door, because he was saying how she looked very different than the way other women were dressed. So opens the door. Josefina says, "Is Jose here? Is Jose Santana here?" The lady who opened the door says, "No, I don't know what you're talking about," and slams the door. And Josefina starts crying. She's bawling. She's so upset. Like, we traveled this whole way, eating crap food at truck stops. We came this whole way with the last bit of money we had. Like, what the fuck? What kind of life is this? And then they hear this, "Who are you looking for?" Well, in Spanish, And they're like, what? It's like a drunk guy who's like on the ground with like a bottle. Like, "Who are you looking for?" And they're like, We're looking for Jose Santana." "Oh, yeah, he's inside. Don't worry about it. Go ahead. Knock on the door again. He's inside." So there's Josefina knocks on the door again, and then the same woman opens the door, and she's like, "I know Jose Santana's in here. I need to talk to him now." And finally, Jose comes to the door, and he sees his wife, and he sees his 7 kids, and he's like, it's interesting how Carlos said how he saw every single emotion in his father's face just change. Boom, bam, boom, bam, bam. Like, oh, wow, okay. So eventually, he moved out of the house with the prostitute. But anyway, they got a place together in Tijuana. And at the time, this is 1955, Tijuana is booming, man. It's just like all of the tourists from the States. There's restaurants. There's like musicians all over the place. So this is the place to be. And that's where we're going to stop. So I hope you tune in for the next part. It's going to be a good story. It's a nice story. It's Carlos Santana is a cool dude, man. A cool dude. It's good music. He's a good guy. And so tune in to the next episode where we take we'll see what happens when young Carlos is living his life. He's not a country boy anymore. He's living in Tijuana. You wouldn't say it's a booming city, but it's hustling and bustling. There's shit happening, man. It's a different type of lifestyle going on, and I think it's productive too. Anyway, so thanks for coming back. Thanks for coming back to Jay's Rock and Roll Stories, and let's do it. Let's keep going, right? All right. So thank you for your beautiful emails at Jay's Rock and Roll Stories at proton.me. I read them all. I read them every single day. So I hope you have a fantastic day. Have a great day. And I'll see you next time. How's that sound? All right, kids. Bye.